is Carrie L. Rung, also Fabian Barela, Alonzo Barela, and also Andy Miller. So we're going to have the State Patrol unit having them show up and have their increments satisfied for the body bag and the urn and cremator. And that's J. Mueller, Amy Mueller at the administration office, where they have the first and last of the identity UBI number 602720 Franklin Museum. So let's take this straight document to administration office. That's Adams County 210. That's Stephen Hernandez. Stephen Hernandez, a dead body there at the United States Marine Corps with Leonard Badbach, Darrell Johnson, Leonard Badbach, Andy Miller, and also Mr. Leonard Badbach, and also increments of Elio and Homer. Elio and Homer, and that trailer park's not there, and also the house is not there. That's Sarah. And B. Dixon is D-I-X-O-N. This is 7121 Okanagan Place, Chemical, Washington. Mr. Scott, and that's Joseph M. Bureaus. And Mr. Hatcher for premeditated murder with Norwick and Sandoval and F unit, A, B, C, D, E, F, G unit, A, B, C, D, E unit. Mr. Fabian Barela from Prosser, and that's Prosser Jail for Mr. Hernandez and Samuel Hernandez. That's in Fresno, California, where Mr. Andy Miller's with increments for Mrs. Lupe having premarital sex from people from India across the street. That's Ajmer Singh Nijjar from San Jose, California. Ajmer Singh Nijjar, A-J-M, Singh, N-S-A-N-J, Nijjar. And that's Shell Beach, California. That's Pismo Beach with a Mercury, four-door. Immaculate condition from Bravo Military Base here in Yakima, Washington, Nob Hill. Burger Ranch, now called University of Washington. That's an elevator system for the aviation compound. That's Alex E.K.S. Strong. Kennewick, Judge Honorable Carmen Mitchell. Next big, and that's Evix, Franklin County, Benton County. Courtroom A, B, C, D, E, and F. Mitchell. And we're going to Franklin County right after here. So we're going to give all this information straight to the judge. Carrie L. Rung, the constant information that they have on the dead body apartment 205 secretary apartments. It says, this is Mr. J. Miller here in the coroner's office with, that's Andy Miller, the coroner's on the property of Miller's administration. The key to the crematorium and also to the toilet and also the back entranceway to the front desk of the crematorium at 1401 San Unit Street. That's the carry-out room. No, Jacqueline. And that's Fabian driving down Clearwater in an Echo with, that's Donald and Shimmery over at the Kennewick Horse Heaven Hills. Now, Shimmery and Donald in an Echo. It was donated because of Ajmer Singh Nijjar from Fresno, California, having sex with Ajmer Singh Nijjar. He owns Papa Murphy's, owns all kinds of buildings, Seattle, the casinos, all kinds of houses, environment, house development. You can't miss it. Now Bruce A. Spanner. That emblem, A. Bruce Spanner, not Spalding, that's on the bench at the coroner's administrative, the crematorium at Miller's Spring Home, 14 on 10th Avenue. It's Spanner, not Spangler. Spangler is in the bench. They have the bench for the Spanner. He's a judge here, honorable judge here in Kennewick 712 Welcome, Mr. Samuel Swanberg. See the Mr. Hatcher. His conviction. No, it's my conviction. It's my murder case because I'm Felix Barela. So Swanberg. And we're going to have Fabian come up here and have him identified. That'd be nice, huh? There's nothing you can do about it. The full armored and full metal and concealed gun permit is in full action. and hunting license increments on the pond and inter-property. We're going to have Annie Miller in the union show up. The union workers that have been, unions have been increments on the full-fledged of the Iowa beef cattle Tyson food. We're going to pull that information up so we can have the entitlements, increments on the UBI number, effectively for the USDA catching Felix Barela on fire at the Overpark in Bend County. It's called Concord Lamb Weston. Tater Boy is Roberta Barela. Tater Boy is called Lamb Weston in Pasco, Washington. And increments of the body bag they're carrying around at the Othello police station, Black Police Department. And increments improving on the increments of there's somebody inside the cremator, and I'm supposed to be in the cremator, so we're going to have some increments, have some words. See, you can't have any evidence of proof and burden of proof until they pull them out there, literally. So we're going to take these screws and increments on entitlements, and this is Mr. Bender that got raped. The same cell of Mr. Hatcher and Mr. Norwick for the murder case in the units for $1 million. That's CPS DHS office. And they were a bunch of kidnapped fools. They kidnapped them, a bunch of bail bondsmen that lost their license. And he went to federal penitentiary for that. And his name is the notorious Dog, D-O-G. And also Mr. Youngblood were convicted for federal charges for indictment for kidnapping and embezzlement, and also increments in fortifying themselves as bail bondsmen, and also the increments here in Tri-City bail bondsmen. Now, Fabian Barela has the increments on the title and the increments on the services for that service, Tri-City Taxi. Now, Matthew Bender, Company on Sea, Lear Jetland, Suite 107, write all that down for them. See, they don't know how to read, they don't know how to write, they definitely don't know how to protect themselves in any way, shape, and form from these criminal convicts wearing windows and badge uniforms with paper that doesn't even in theirs. Mr. Glenn Butner and Susan, the plea bargaining agreements and all the services they have for the rover assistance, and also the jail corridor increments their judgment and sentence on pre-trial murder, and also the casements for bulletproof glass, bulletproof vest, and increments on their custody levels for the increments for their trial services. And there's a fee for that. I've never seen a sheriff or oversized sheriff come to a doorway, forcing way the entrance way into the Andy Miller's office. Now they know an unknown fact in front of his children and his kids. Increments are proving that they're factoring at the inventory and the service, Mr. Miller's. And there's no agency criminal activities, and also then services for murder cases, history office in Gage Boulevard. So another murder case in Gage Boulevard. See Mr. and Mrs. Governor. It's on the wall plaque for the murder case. It says $485,000, $485,000. Murder case 3. That's 813. So you make up on the Social Security office around there, pretty self-explanatory. And change of date on Matthew Bender. It's on Laxton, New York, 112 USPS 0767840. And also the laptop and the first and last name and increments. There's 3 of them. They're both broke. They're up in Andy Miller's office. That's McKinnon Law Office. John Luke McKinnon, 704 East Olive Avenue. Phone number is 509-765-4451. Moses Lake, Washington. Fax is 509-765-6019. Tabler Wallace PLC, Attorney Law, 56 C Street, Northwest, P.O. Box 876, Washington 98823. Phone number is 509-754-5264. And that's Stephen W. Reagan, $10,000 in account. Kenneth W. Chadwick, Schultz Tabler, 56th Street, Northwest, P.O. Box 876. That's a federal court building, Kennedy's office. That's Mr. Taylor. Natalie Hover, and Natalie Hover is in 56th Street, P.O. Box, Washington, George Washington House. It's next door, 32 in 56. Melissa McKnight and Melissa Perez. Human Resources. Now the increments on the services for the increments for the increase for fees and attorney fees. That's zero balance. I don't know what NGC at all. And Fabian Barela can sit in the courtroom with the judge at any time he wants. And implementing services and kids and children sitting inside the courtroom anytime they want. Now the Zool payment on Zool payment, there shows a trial note for trial statement availability. It says on-sworn statement electronic transmission mailing. It says letter from Steve H. Sackman, Adams County Court Clerk. Date October 1st of 2012. It says Grand County, the District Court Superior Court Prosecutors, extension number is 3971. Washington State Patrol Office is 509-765-6175. 7J Police, Jessica Rodriguez, 190 East Main. That's Seth Miller, Jessica Norma Rodriguez, Stephen J. Police, and also Holt. And administration paperwork on indictments on the services. There's a fat piece of shit in the doorway trying to break into the front way, back way. And indictments in front of the custody and low custody individuals. And they're threatened, scared for their lives. Stephen H. Sackman, 45 East Hamlet. That's Hemlock Street at 500 East Main Street, the police station, where the individual increments of screaming and yelling of a staff member in the back of the vehicle, screaming for their life. And you can hear it all the way from Stephen Sackman's at 45 East Hamlet Street, Phil, Washington, 509-488-5636. And that's Taylor. That's Taylor's daughter. That's in the back seat. She was threatened. Now, Brandon West Eastern Wash Criminal Service at 10th Street, increments, whatever that was about. And we're going to give him your first and last name, and that's Mr. John Cooney. Mr. Cooney, let's see. Mr. Cooney got his increments on his tabloids, and it was Garland, 910 West Garland. Now it's not 33 West Indiana Avenue, Spokane, Washington, 99205. 509-598-2677, 1-888-302-2613. Fax is 509-325-1859. Emergencies is 509-327-6000. Website is htbjohncooney.com. Email, and that's ldcooney@jcooney.com, ldcooney@jdcooney.com. And Bill Gates is 1835 73rd Avenue, Northeast Medina, Washington. That's phone records from Andy Miller's office increments here. So Mr. Bill Gates' address is 1835 73rd Avenue, Northeast Medina, Washington, 9803. That's 7 miles from WorkSource in Seattle. McKenna Law Firm, PS Olive Avenue. The phone records with Mr. Bill Gates' phone records. Felix Barela's phone records. It says 1835 73rd Avenue, Northeast Medina, Washington, with a broken laptop, broken phones and system that's connected to it. So the emergency contacts 519-3276. That's Connie Cooney Law Firm. That's Jim Cooney. That's Dallas Cooney, and then John Cooney is the judge and also the attorney. Now he's sitting down watching Super Bowl football for the rest of his life, and he's retired. He's not retired. He's just relaxed on his 401k, maxing out on the equipment used for services for that $4,000. Now, Melissa McKnight, Grant County Courthouse, P.O. Box 37, Freda, Washington, 988. Her extension number is 2610, 509-754-2011. Now, and then increments on the services that they have on the Chase Bank, U.S. Bank. They don't deal with Grande or Pasco, Washington in one period because the state patrol is dead. Wake up and see State Patrolman on my floor. And then the dramatized individuals that come here and try to act like they run shit here and they don't. U.S. Bank and also Chase Bank improv on their increments on their deposit inquiries. That's increments on the password, username, user first name, that's laptop, that's in the manager's office with a broken information, laptops, Samsung's 9, 10, and their increments of so forth. That's December 3rd, 2019. That's December 3rd, where Roberta Barela was killed and murdered at Sacagawea Apartments at 507 Apartment 205. Same with State Patrolman sodomy. So 2 wrongs don't make a right, does it? And Gonzaga University Gonzaga University all the way into Apartment 205 with a State Patrolman on the dead floor along with Roberta Barela, the dead body as well. And then that's Amy Miller, Jamie Miller, Administration Office at the Coroner's Office and Administration Office, which is my parking lot, Increments on death certificate remains there. It says Cooney Law Firm, what came out of her mouth said Spokane, Washington. So that phone number is 509-598-2677, 1-888-302-2613. Fax number 509-325-1859. Emergency is 509-327-6000. So they're screaming in the back of the police station car. That's Taylor. Mailing address, P.O. Box 2825 Wash 9344. Email info SJ Police Law Firm, Norma Rodriguez, Jessica Rodriguez. Dead State Patrolman on the floor. Just changed the name. I only charge you $1 million for Mr. Bender getting raped in his way. Like, of course, the President of the United States like raping children like that. Staff members, Bender. And McKenna Law Firm, PS Corp. 74 Olive Avenue, Mosley Wash 9837 519-765-4451 1-855 Law 8848. That's McKenna Law Firm. Shows town. It's online. It's all out online. Verizon does all the increments on updating. Verizon has a Microsoft component, so because of Felix Barela. I got Windows and Microsoft on their services increments, but you know what? There is a service on the increments on a SIM card. It disguises itself in any shapes and forms, and it's Verizon. Grant County and the House of Grant County District Superior Court prosecutors, Mr. Dano and Jennifer Cards, extension number is 3971, Watch State Patrol Office, which is 509-765-6175. That is the female state patrolman, and she's pretty lethal. She stays up hours and hours upon the day. She has slitted snake eyes, little snake eyes like Wyoming, Casper, Wyoming. You know, because Casper, Wyoming, it's pretty a criminalized little state for an increments for a state patrolman here in Washington State, and also raised by Felix Barela in a way, shape, because there's a dead state patrolman on the floor. I don't lie by, I think, because I just came from Gaza University, and there's a dead body of Roberta Barela and State Patrolman Soderman, of course, on that force. So we're going to have to go into galleys and pull every headstone and every crip and crenner and every increment, and also the crackings, which is the 190 East Main Street, which is Norma Rodriguez. We'll call her Jessica. Like bodacious, but this is fell as a criminal activity increment. Mr. Brand West fell upon the two. He walked in this increment to 25 years retirement. Mr. Brewer, he asked him to leave the state of Washington. They asked him to quit and leave, or else suffer the consequences. So he quit. He walked out. Mr. Carol J. Benzel replaced at 425 East Suite 400 Othello, Washington District Court, and Mrs. Brewer and Eddie. I'm talking to Eddie. I'm coming to the prosecutor's office and the sheriff's office, and these thugs come in here and increment their services, and it's all documented and recorded on the whole time. Sunset Acres, and here at the State Patrol Office, Mr. Hanson and I-90, walking out to Carol J. Mott, recorded the whole time. And the recording info information, Mr. Brandon West, and on the sidewalk is 10th North Street. So we're going to go to 10th North Street and take all this documentation and give it to Mrs. Judge's Administration Chief Justice Department here at Riverside. And this is going to be an awesome walk. Landscape. It's going to be an introduction. Mr. Donald Trump's going to be there. And he's not going to let it happen ever again. How they attacked me on the sidewalk on Wall Street and had money. Had over $48,000 in cash, and also implied the other $35 million in cash when I was attacked. Increments of the Social Security Office. Murder case, Gage Block, murder case, Gage Block, and a murder case 8131, Climate, Cincinnati. And Andy Miller's alive, and Mr. Felix Barela's alive, and there's nothing you can do about it. 712 West Okanagan Place, Canoga, Washington. So walk in the state patrol, or God's or out of a state patrol office and protecting all myself and services. I'm so feared of God, and sitting in Dixon, I'm scared of my life. I'm scared for my life. I'm so shaking my boots. So increments, I'm gonna have download this. I'm gonna go to Spokane, go straight to the judge's chambers, and sit and wait and do the same ordeal, and have him uplighted on his Microsoft Verizon components would be exported, and delivered to him, just like FedEx and UPS. See, people that get ripped off or stole from or being lied to, and have to give money and whatever money and accessory you put in there. It's because this is a time of crisis, like recession, depression, that Obama put everybody in crisis. You know what I'm saying? You know, being God's Egg University and equipment stuff, and leaving it here at the states here, thinking that they get away with it, and you won't get away with a dead body that's out on the floor. It don't even belong to you. And equipment, urns, caskets, the concrete liner, muscle, and also the conveyor belt used to be a cremator. It's like Burger King Carl's Jr. conveyor belt. Put it on the gurney, and put it back on the, flap it back on the conveyor belt, and put it on. No, now it's a cremator. It only takes 1 second, 15,000 degrees, and then later you're in a blender and you're cremated, flushed down the toilet. Well, however the increments are, they're doing it now. Or putting a bag and makeup stuff and Social Security ID, badge number, and Apple ID, whatever increment insurance, and just put you in lower end casket. As you can see, pretty self-explanatory. John O. Cooney is the judge. No, that's connected to the Cooney Law Firm here at 910 West Providence, Garland. But it's now Indiana, Boston Pizza Restaurant, and Washington, which India's 20 blocks over, 15 blocks down Division, and that's on by Euclid, before Euclid, before you pass Euclid, it's Boston Pizza. And also Labor Ready. There's a Labor Ready compound facility for training for the prevailing wage. Anything at $900 to $6,000 an hour. That's a lot of money. $16,000 an hour. $16,000, $1,600 to $5,000 an hour. It's pretty a lot of money. Mr. Joseph A. Brewers, Alex Ibsen, Carmen Mitchell, Carrie L. Rowe, Jacqueline Brown, Bruce A. Spanner, Sammy Swanberg, Matthew Bender, and also the Seal Leonard Jets. We got, let's get this correct. Mr. John Cooney, Jim Cooney, for getting hit by the Trailblazer, white Trailblazer. Mr. Schultz Tabler, Cooney Law Firm, PS 330 West Indiana Avenue, Spokane, Washington 99205 509 That's John On Cooney. He is still the judge. Spokane. It says John O. Cooney. C-O-N-N-E. That's John O. Cooney. See that $4,000 to his increments for his Super Bowl. And that's all he did was sit there in Super Bowl at that Super Bowl weekend, accepting that $4,000 cash on top of the outstanding increments of hundred thousands of dollars in the account in increments of getting him the $4,000. Well, with Mr. Andy Miller, $3,000. And also another John Deere Evergreen implement, applying another implement of $5 million, another $1 million. And their increments of trying their increments of breaking in the entranceway here and upstairs in Andy Miller's office and other side of Andy Miller's office. And making their entranceways. You can see Mrs. Taylor and Mr. Taylor will love to look on the increments. It's on the shipment and receiving on FedEx and USPS. We got the registration card here. Presidential election campaign here. The residential, congressional, legislative district, commissioner and district, school district and fire district, and also the hospital district. That's Kennewick, Cadillac, and also Lady Lords. These precinct name of Othello, there's a Adams County, and there's a Franklin County, and there's a Spokane County here at Davenport Hotel, and also the Red Lion. It says, due for their nature and services for the Spokane County, John O. Cooney, Spokane, Washington, Mr. Anthony D. Hazel, Julie McKay, Moreno, Anniams Please, Mitchell L.P. Price, Michael Me Amblin, Anderson, Clark III, and F. Clary. Like Bud Clary Ford Company, like John Kia Motors, Overtow Motors of that plot, that's that Mueller Springer on the curbside for the concrete, Portland concrete for the high impact Rainbirds. John Cooney, you can call it 509-735-3511. The San Luis Obispo address is correct in nature and service increments. So we're going to be in the office of Podace, the increments on your notary, your Publix, and also you want your money in your check. It's right here in my hand. Right there, signature and corporate signature, and also Mr. Schultz Tabler and George Washington House increments on the blood test increments, which is done every month to analyze all the collective data to make sure the increments are no change at all, which they haven't been changed in shape and way and form. Mr. John Luke McKinnon, Mr. Kenneth W. Chadwick, Mr. Natalie Hover, Stephen W. Reagan, and Natalie. Now, Mr. Saccharin, also Norma Rodriguez, now Jessica Norma Rodriguez, that costs $1 million. And those increments, another $5 million increments for the housing increments for the override processing information for your vehicles and change of vehicles and fuel cards, the expenditures. The San Luis Obispo, that's San Luis Obispo, that's a population of over 90 million people. Moses Lake Police Officer license plate number is 63379D. Moses Lake Police 411 South Balsam. This is March 2nd, 2020. Squad car is 036. City of Moses Lake, Washington. State Patrol Office was contacted. And also the Watch State Patrol Office, 509-765-6175 here in Kennewick, here in Olympia, and also the increments here in Moses Lake Laguna. The license plate number 63379D. 3. This is March 2nd, 2020. Squad car 036, City of Moses Lake. And then Melissa McKnight, Grant County Courthouse, P.O. Box, Greater Washington. Extension number is 2610, 509-754-2011. Stephen Sackman, 45 East Hamlet Street, Othello, 509-485-5636. And also Mr. and Mrs. Grant County Prosecutor, Mrs. Dano Garth, and Jennifer, negotiations with the Secretary of Staff, District Court and Superior Court, extension number 3971, and that's 509-754-2011. And also Human Resource, Larissa Perez, Human Resource Coordinator, P.O. Box, that's 3735, and that's C Street, Northwest, Greater Washington, 98823, Greater Washington, 509-754-2011. Extension for Larissa Perez is 4903. Fax is 509-754-6588. And that's all the phone records and recollection report. Presidential campaign, and also the comprehensive Benton County Election Department. And that's a voter registration card, Congressional, Legislative County, Benton PUD, Hospital, Kennewick, Port of Kennewick, District 1, School District 17, Fire and Water. Congressional 4, Legislation 8, County Community 3, ID is 699358, which is on my neck dog tags. Registered, and that's call number is 1348, P.O. Box, and that's Mr. Brendan Shelton, Benton County Auditor, P.O. Box 1440, Prosser, Washington 99350, and that's the 509, that's elections at Benton County, Washington, wbentonelection.com, 509-736-3085, 509-786-561. That's Secretary Kim Wayman. So we're going to go to our office now, get on the bus, and go straight there and get all information to Kim Wayman. Just like she said, you gotta lay low, Kim Wayman. You sit upstairs in the Freda Courthouse, George Washington House, you lay low. If there's a shootout or increments or pulling police or increments or any attacking shape or form, you just unload that clip. You unload that, Kim. Protect yourself every shape and way and form. Has proved it. And then Mr. Donald Trump, he's a good man, ain't he? He didn't say a word about increments, about how your services increments of California State prisons, California State affiliations of services increments, and their policyholders. And that's Jay Inslee, and that's the last, I think that's the last deliberate of his COVID-19, his deliberations of incorporated protecting COVID-19 in all societies. I'll take this deer skin. I'm going to apply this deer skin and put this elk meat, put it in the freezer at George Washington House. And we're going to take it upstairs in increments upstairs in the federal building and judgment chambers. And there's a walkway entrance. I slide my card there and it opens the door. Like I slide in any of these doors, I'll slide the card, it will open. It's around my neck.